But I think the long short of it is against a team like Limitless, I don't think you're going to be getting that all too much. You're not going to see all the bells and whistles unfolding just yet. But we'll get a little bit of a taste, John, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, and I think the map we're going to get, as far as I can tell here, is Anubis. Okay, yeah, Anubis. We didn't get a chance to talk about it much because we're talking about the map pool, rightfully so, and we'll see what happens for them. Their best maps were Mirage, Inferno, and Vertigo. Anubis, they only played it one time over the last 3 months, and it was a loss 6-13 for NRG. So, I don't know. There's a vulnerability here, potentially here on map number 1 for the NRG squad, but I say they have the best firepower. But look at this, DJF gets a couple. Hext and Breeze are immediately taken out. Nitro, automatic, well, they're not going to have much success. At least OC does get one onto Wolf, and that does leave them in a tough spot in a 2v4 here.
Look, when OC's alive, anything is possible, but this might be a bridge too far to cross. OC's going to try to get this bomb down. He taps it. He does get rid of Seb and DJF. Nearly had one onto Wiz as well, but excuse me. That was
he did whiff it.
Near attempt. Yeah, he did whiff it. I was kind of trying to do a little wordplay there between whiz and whiff, but look, it's an opening day here. I'm still getting used to getting back into the casting saddle.
It's been a while for us, right? Yeah, no, for sure. It's been a while, you know, a month and a half, I think, that we've had taken a break, and the players as well, so they're probably going to have some rust on their side, but we'll see who will be able to take this one. It's just Pistol, though. I want to mention that, of course, and Limitless getting it, okay. I mean, that's something for them to celebrate, I suppose, but only momentarily, because once the guns come out, that'll be the true test, and who knows what can happen here on the Eco. A Deagle and a P250. Oh, nice nade thrown by DJF here, and now the smoke will guise off visibility from NRG. And I think the number one concern for NRG is, have they had enough time to play with Nitro? And OC, well, he doesn't care about how much time he's played with the new IGL. He's just going to hit shots like that.
Yeah, this is kind of like a trial by fire for Nitro. Very curious to see how he plays around with Anubis. I do believe this might even be his first Anubis. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, calling on this map will be a very interesting one. And he has to start on the offense as well, which is an easier T-side to call on than most. I think as the CT sides have improved, it's still a little bit of a task.
It is Nitro's first CS2 official. We know that. He didn't play CS2 at all. Wolf's going to get one here. Seb gets the other one. Breeze finds the trade immediately, but it is 3v3. Seb taking care of business. The SMG's doing work, and they got the bomb plant. That's important. The bomb plant goes down right before OC is dropped, but that's $600 added to the bank account for the following round in one they did not invest much into. So it is 2-0 for Limitless, but that'll lead to a much stronger buy-up for NRG.
Yeah, fine with that for NRG, but every day of the week, you get 2 kills. Sure, you're giving the SMG some frags, but at the end of the day, NRG will get themselves a healthy purchase. OC, if he wants to go for that AWP, he can, but he's going to opt to stay a little bit more mobile. And of course, I think OC's rifles have significantly improved now that he's had to take on a little bit more kind of duties as a star on this roster as compared to, say, that Liquid roster of old.
Yeah, I think he's going back to the way he used to play when he was part of the Extra Salt Corps. That was when he was such a good rifler, along with Opper, but it fell away on Liquid for sure, and I'm glad to see he's finding his rhythm again in that regard. Ooh, nice little pusher from Limitless outside of B main. 3 players going out. Automatic taken down to 21. I believe that was a headshot from the A1S. He does not get finished off. Now they're going to try and retaliate with some utility of their own and push Limitless back, and they are successful in doing so. So Limitless, a bit of early damage, but no frags to speak of just yet.
That's just a crazy gamble from Limitless. Stacking 4B and then fighting basically 2 to 3 outside of B main. Surprising that NRG don't opt to take any A main control off of that. They were very keen on playing as passively as possible on the other side. So Limitless get away with that pretty much scot-free. Now, with all that being said, minute left on the clock, they're down to just a molly and a nade on Tender.
Tender now only has the incendiary as he throws the nade away. Automatic. there. Can't get the frag. Finally is dropped. Good trade from Breeze, but BGF did overlook him. No, Breeze, a great clear, finds the follow-up, and now a 4v3 in favor of NRG. Breeze trying to work his way in towards his A site. Gets away from Seb for a moment. Seb strikes. Can he get a follow-up? No. Seb deleted. Wolf finds a trade, so it is at least staying close with that as Nitro and Hex take control of the site and Tender, a possibility at a clutch.
Wants to go through it. He has a chance on this low HP target of Nitro and he goes down, but he has no idea where Hex has run off to. Is he playing all the way in A main? That's what he's thinking, and he's going to try to stick the bomb, but he's been Fountain the entire time. Hex gets the 1v1, and NRG, this new roster, is finally off the market, so is Nitro.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, one player that I think, well, was impressing me since this NRG squad was formed, despite, you know, the disappointments they've had here and there, is Breeze. Breeze has honestly looked quite good. He's shown great form that we didn't see at all during his time with EG. It just felt like he was so, I guess, dejected as part of that roster, and I think a lot of players were struggling as part of the EG organization for multiple reasons we won't get into. But it's good to see him, again, find his form and, you know, getting his fragging prowess back.
I mean, keep in mind, Breezy was one of the NA riflers that we all celebrated.
Yes.
And we would all love that kind of Breeze back. And this is that road, that path to redemption that he's been on for a little while. And I'm excited to see that continued development, especially to play alongside a storied IGL like Nitro, because I think the biggest issue for me has just been the cohesion of all these 5 individuals. I think they've been able to mechanically hang, but can they finish off these rounds in the mid to late situations? That's the real question. And hopefully Nitro can answer that for us. Aggression from Tender, it was pretty much read from the get-go, and Breezy's there to punish.
Yeah, I still have so many question marks in terms of Nitro that he's going to have to show me what he's got in terms of mostly an IGL. Like, in terms of stats, it's not that important because he's got 4 players around him who can frag out really well. He just needs to pull off, you know, the executions, especially on this T side. OC going to be moving out, going across bridge. NRG are taking their time. 36 seconds left on the clock. Wolf peering around, trying to see what's going on. And this was a problem for NRG under Walco as well. They just take too much time off the clock and don't get their execute going in time.
Well, this is perfect. They found exactly, they're basically just rinsing and repeating the previous round, but this time there is no primary player on A, meaning that this site is free and they're probably just going to have to save if I'm Limitless.
This is crazy. They just walked right into the A site and no one was home. They slipped through the gap. I like it. I mean, it was down to the wire, but Limitless got the wrong read stacking towards the A site, which I guess I can't really blame them for, given they've got a couple of MP9s and 2 M4s, and if they lose them, they don't have a buy-up in the following round. So they gambled, it was wrong, and NRG are going to get a second in a row.
These MP9s, they can be pretty powerful, but even though Wolf got there in time, he couldn't actually swing out. There wasn't any flash to support him either, so sure, he makes the rotation, but sometimes it is just better to give it up. You don't want to give away a gun needlessly, and that's why he just pulls away. So it's an unfortunate circumstance for Limitless after going a man down, but they'd be much happier to try and rinse and repeat this buy, even without any utility. They can try for some more B main aggression. If they want to fight for A main, they can do that as well. Options are definitely open, but I'm looking at an opening gambit here to try and utilize these guns as quickly as possible.
Well, they were very aggressive outside of B main a couple of rounds ago. Doesn't look like they want to replicate that here. In fact, a pretty bog standard setup. No aggression going to come through. They have 2-1-2. Seb playing mid with the MP9. Automatic and Nitro on the other side. Waiting for the opportunity to push on forward. But a lot of patience being shown by NRG, so that slow style of play is continuing here. I would imagine Nitro said, look, you guys haven't had much time to play under me. Let's just keep going forward with the strats we were using before, and then we'll slowly work things in as we have more time to practice. That's my guess anyway. But we don't know what the case is, in fact.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you can honestly default every round and you'd be fine. You can work on the playbook and deepening the set pieces and what have you as time goes on, but for right now, The name of the game is just getting everybody on the same page. Are you hitting the bomb site at the same time? Is there connections on these splits? Of course, only time will tell. But so far, so good for NRG. They've got themselves the outside of dark control. But they're still very apprehensive here. 40 seconds left on the clock. They're going to try to sell a fake here on this A site. Double smokes in a Molotov as well. But here comes the hit.
Oh, wow. Bree's going to get the opener onto Tender, who only had the USP. But DJF, the immediate frag onto OC, who tried to sneak in, and then Wiz finds the follow-up. This is a really good setup here. Wolf and DJF connect as well, and Nitro's going to have to do it all. He manages to get the important one to maybe secure the plant. Seb is close by, but the smoke guises it off, so he will at least secure that. And he also gets the frag onto Wolf, but he won't get it on Seb. Nice trade from Seb. Nitro, the IGL, at least managing to put on a little bit of a show, but he's unable to clutch it out, and it will be a third round for Limitless.
Thought we could have a little bit of a Captain America special to kickstart this affair, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer, John. But yeah, I think in general, the setup was solid. I mean, that crossfire has always been very deadly. You have one player playing off of that cubby position and one on the back of the site, and they just exchange contact as time goes on. And if you're a T, you don't have Molotov swarming the site, it's always going to be a difficult ask. And that's one of the issues that, as you said, that Walco had, where they kind of run the clock down a little too far, and you're not allowed to kind of swarm the site with utility as you kind of hoped, and make those fights a little easier.
Alright, well, they built up a decent economy for themselves, so they will still have the rifles coming into this one. And they are favoring the B site once more, maybe a little faster this time, because look at them, they're already set up. DJF and Tender have the crossfire, but they're smoked off from each other, so it could be beneficial. No, DJF gets one, Tender finds the trade, they can't find the space, Tender even gets a second before OC is able to drop him down to dirt. 3v2 in favor of Limitless, the nades are going back and forth here. Seb is managing to keep OC at bay, while Hext is lurking around on the other side of the map, trying to reconnect with his teammate. I mean, there is some space here to potentially be gained by NRG, but they just don't have the bomb in their possession and don't know how close Limitless might be.
Well, Hext will take that space. When's the sound cue given over to Seb? He definitely heard that jump. So they're aware of the one player on the other end, but they haven't spotted the bomb. This is the gunfight that decides it all. OC spots out one.
Oh, look at this flank.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Flanks on flanks, and Seb will find his man. Leaves it all up to OC. 1v2 on the site itself. He finds his first, and he'll swing into Wiz. Wiz doesn't collect the bullets. And now, this is a very doable clutch, but high-low setup. He does dissect the 1v1s, and OC with the 1v3. How the hell does he pull that one off?
Oh, that's OC. Oh my goodness, what a play from him, isolating the players on Limitless and tying things up at 3 when it felt like Limitless had a fourth in their back pocket, right? It didn't feel like they could lose that round. I don't know why they reacted so aggressively to Hex's position when they knew they had the bomb over on the B site. They could have just waited, maybe have one person turn around and watch the flank, but instead they send 2 out hunting, leave only 1 on the site proper, and then set themselves up for 3 consecutive 1v1s. Although I do have to give OC a little bit of credit with his maneuvering, and of course the shots were incredible, but still, that felt like a round that Limitless let completely slip away. And now NRG have a chance to really put the nail into their coffin, I want to say, but not quite yet. It's still tied 3-3. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but this round
they can
is
start
critical.
the momentum, right?
Yeah,
This is like the double eco territory for the CT side. They just got to cross their T's and dot their I's and just get it over the line. But this A-focused default does mean that Limitless go for some more B aggression. This has been something that has been very deadly to deal with. Breezy finds one. He's not prepared for the second. And DJF will just get that trade and fall right the hell back.
All right. Good trade. DJF has the M4 in his hands. NRG are looking to work their way in towards E-box at this point. 3 players in water. There's the smoke being thrown, and OC with a flash for his teammates to move in. DJF waiting back sight. Seb pinching in. OC connects with another one, this time with the AWP. Automatic spots out Seb. That's a worthy trade. DJF's position known, but DJF managed to get the second pulse of the USP. Not going to get the third. Nitro spraying him down with the AK and leaves it all up to Wiz. I believe maybe a gun able to be retrieved here. Yeah, but it's only a UMP for Wiz. He'll hope to make that one work. Does he decide to switch to the MP9? No, he sticks to the UMP. And this doesn't feel like it's very likely for Wiz to pull off against this firepower, but he might catch Nitro with Util in his hands. Nitro throwing that smoke, slipping on through his Wiz, but he can't hit the shots, but does up against OC, makes it a 1v1. Nitro, can he do it? Wiz against the IGL, newly appointed on NRG, and Nitro just barely pulled it off. 9 HP remains, and the lead is in NRG's hands.
Well, there's your heroics there. For Nitro pulls off the 1v1. It's a little close for comfort. Too much so for me. I don't necessarily feel like it should be that close, but you know, hey, they get it over the line and they passed the test that they needed to. The money is snapped for Limitless. They don't have an opportunity to buy back in. And NRG have a chance to start to string some rounds together on this T side. I'm sure they've had a couple of hiccups as far as the timer goes, but for the most part, they've been able to kind of get on the same page, at least in these kind of man-even situations, the 2v2s, the 1v1s.
Yeah, I think that's NRG finally putting some space between themselves and Limitless, especially in this round. It's just going to be USPs. Limitless gamble stack towards the A site. They did have that contact on A, the lurker DJF, or I should say the Lone Ranger DJF on that B site, but off of that, they're not really going to move the muscle. They're still waiting to see if NRG are going to overplay their hand or perhaps outthink themselves. They do not. They get the clean plant over on B, and that will likely be the end of the round here.
Certainly so. Wow. Okay. Hex cannot get anything going. He's kind of had a slow start as the A lurker. But his teammates are there to pick up the pieces. Wolf was going to try his hand to pick up one gun on the way out or maybe even find a kill. But Nitro has his fearless soldiers right behind him. And they'll get themselves their 5th round. Now, very curious to see what the changes are now for Limitless. They still will not have an AWP out for Wiz, which I would have liked to see beyond that 1 round in play. And with that, it's going to kind of reduce the number of plays that they can make on the CT side, I'd like to think.
NRG, though, are now looking for the first 3-round lead of this map. Molotov's going to sail in automatic. He wants to pop the smoke to go through it. Indeed he does. There's the smoke pop, but a flash kind of guises his vision, so he can't really see through it. He doesn't realize Wolf is here, but another smoke pop, and Hex capitalizes on that. Wiz gets 2, and Nitro trades it back, but Wiz and Seb doing so much work here. Hex down to 24 as well. Seb going to get the reinforcements, 3v2 in favor of Limitless. OC makes it a 2v2. Now he needs another clutch on his hands. He gets spammed down to 11 HP through that smoke, and OC has to fight in again because the bomb is down on the site. Has the op scope in for heaven, fires away. Now Tender knows exactly where he is. He communicates that with DJF, who's just lurking around this corner. One last piece of util was available. He sees the smoke, but the nade goes in, and that will do it. Limitless are not going to go down without a very hard-fought map, it seems.
I like the idea there from NRG to kick up the smokes twice in a row. But Limitless were very privy to the idea. They have the crossfires in place straight away. And the anchor of Seb does so much work with that A1S to at least get a couple on the way out. Stall for long enough that the rotations are in. And unfortunately, OC cannot pick up another clutch with that AWP. And it's just unfortunate circumstances for them. I like the ideas on both ends, but Limitless just a little quicker on the trigger. Especially in regards to those rotations. They got a little bit of a weaker buy. This is that kind of all-deciding round in the half. With both sides having very weak economy. They're going to try and contact their way through straight into the MP9 of 7. This time he falls. A lot of mid-control gain, and they're going to try to go off of it.
Okay, Wiz gets the opener for his squad. Wolf finds the follow-up immediately, and Wiz swings around into Nitro's AK 2K. Nitro wins that fight. Limitless continue to reinforce his positions though, so there's going to be another peek coming through. OC's ready for it. 2v2 now, even though Limitless had the numbers again, now it's not looking too great with one, DJF having an MP9, and I don't think he's in position to get an upgrade, and two, Wolf down to half health. So NRG, with plenty of time left on the clock, can readjust here. Ooh, DJF's crosshair, but whoa! What a shot from Nitro as he lands into the water. A bullet with DJF's name on it hits him right in the dome. Wolf, last one standing, and that smoke is thrown exactly where he's coming from. Wolf, gonna go on through, and he goes down to the ground afterwards. OC, another great round for him, but Nitro is at 9-6 right behind him on the scoreboard.
Yeah, those 2 kills were super impactful from the IGL. I mean, the fact that he takes that risk is crazy. I think he's assuming that he's going to have a trade right behind him in OC. He's very willing to die in that situation, but the flick over is still immaculate, and that pretty much seals the fate of Limitless in that round there. And I spoke about the ramifications that previous round. This is where NRG start to run away with the game. They have 7 right there in the palm of their hands. They just have to go out and take it. And surely with that final round of the half, they can gun for a potential 8-round half, which would be fantastic for Nitro's debut on this roster. Nice little flash, and Wiz is there for a trade, but there's no guns that are recoverable. They'll essentially just get whittled down here with the minute 25 still left on this clock.
Yeah, a lot of time left here for NRG to maneuver. I like the idea from Limitless to get a little bit aggressive outside of A main, but at this point, just got the pistols and couldn't get the upgrade. Nice spray down from Automatic onto DJF. He'll probably collect another one if they get aggressive with him, but his job is just to hold down the fort at mid while the reinforcements go in towards that B side. Wolf actually pushes into water, takes down Automatic, and there's a gun for him to recover if he can get over to it, which I believe he will. So that's an AK picked up for Limitless. It's still within reason that they can come back here and pull off a retake, but I think what's more important for them with Wiz not having armor is just to save that gun. Find a way to get it out of this round, but I believe he's been spotted by Nitro.
Yeah, that back has been spotted. Wolf is also on this B main flank. They're going to try to go for this considering they have money. It's only 2 players on the site itself. Nitro has got to collect his frag, but OC is the safest pair of hands, and Nitro will chime in right at the end. That's clean and clinical again from NRG in the post plan. You love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Nitro, double digits. OC dominating the scoreboard. We talked about him as the player to watch. He was strong for them in the previous season. And look at that. 18-6. Oh. And we're not even finished with this first half. He could have 20 before the first half ends if he gets a 2K in this round. My goodness, he is a player that can have so much impact. All right, we're going into it. Round number 12. All A1S's for Limitless. They haven't had a chance to really get the op in Wiz's hands as often as they'd like, and I think a part of that is due to the fact that even when they were winning rounds, they were only winning with maybe 1-2 players standing max.
Huge gamble off of that one smoke from Limitless. 3 players leaning on the A side of the map. Breeze is here to potentially punish some aggression, and DJF thinks better of it. He spots and at least gets information with that one shoulder peek. But NRG are still pretty stalwart on this A site approach. We're just going to wait out this utility and go in because there is nothing else to speak of for Limitless. Just a smoke and a nade on the other side of the map. Here come NRG with this execute.
Nitro leading the charge, tip of the spear. Here comes that first piece of util. Automatic. Trying to strike from the side, and he will. That's Wiz gone. I mean, Wiz had all the time in the world to fire against him. Nitro gets a 2K entering into the A site as well. Seb and Wolf gone. Tender and DJF, the last 2 standing. They must go for this because there are no further rounds to be played on their CT side outside of this one. DJF gonna join up with Tender and hope for the best that they can get a couple of frags here. Trade will be important, but in fact, they need multi-kills right now. Tender won't get anything. Neither will DJF. Breeze delivers the last 2, 8-4 in favor of NRG as we head to the halftime break. All right, we're back here with the second half of action. NRG looking great on their T side, but it's something you usually expect from a map like Anubis. In fact, 4 rounds on CT side isn't too shabby for Limitless if they can get off to a hot start here on their T side.
Absolutely agree, John. Here comes the semi-execute on this A site. There are 5 players fully advancing off the utility of Wolf. Nitro will have to take some first contact here. Would love to get one, and he does. Tracks the second as well. Beautiful flashes from Hex. Hex now chimes in. It's all up to Nitro. He's staying alive for so long. I mean, the captain just does so much work there, but the real hero is Hex with his flashes and those USP bullets. NRG take the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, Hex is very solid with the flashbangs. In fact, he averages 0.07 or average 0.07 flash assists per round in the previous season. The leader in that category is actually OC, 0.11. We talked about how good he is with the flashbangs. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see perhaps more of that from Hex moving forward. I know Nitro will probably get involved. I think he kind of has to, considering that Walco was the player throwing the most flashes per round at 0.76 last season. But we'll see if that happens. Regardless, great flashbang thrown. OC gets the opener. Here on to Tender. Nitro gonna farm some frags with the SMG. 3K for him makes it look easy, and we've got a 10-4 lead for NRG.
Well, now at this point, Limitless are kind of backs against the wall. They weren't able to convert that pistol. They won't have the utility advantage either, so they're really gonna have to fight forward with these AKs. When that double digit sings for the CT side, that confidence starts to swell. You start to feel like you can do no wrong. And it's really up to this hodgepodge roster that we have to try and break the deadlock.
This is going to be their chance. Need to win a round quickly here, otherwise it's just going to tumble out of control. Wolf working his way in towards water. I feel like they want to lean in towards the B site with this type of setup. Probably just playing for picks at this point, as the bomb has not been recovered just yet by Wiz. It's right behind him. Automatic. Had a peek towards bridge, but as it stands, I mean, NRG just waiting for Limitless to make their move, as Limitless are taking their time. Coming forward, Hex tosses the nade. Takes a little bit of damage to Seb, and his vision given away from that Molotov Hex trap. He has to throw the smoke to save his life, and he will do exactly that. But with that Molotov damage, health is kind of even across both sides, and still in a 5v5 with under a minute left in the round.
And now Limitless start to congregate. They know they have dark control somewhat. They're going to try to double up here in this cubby position. 3 players available. And I think NRG have read this like a book, especially now that they've cleared out A main.
31 seconds left. Nice flashbang thrown for the peak from Hex. Can't capitalize off it, and he goes down first. 5v4 briefly until Breeze strikes. Automatic as well. Breeze standing in the Molotov, just trying to hold the angle, and Wiz gets a 2K as a result. 2v2. Nade sails in. Will it get a frag? No! Wiz survives with 15 HP, will secure a bomb plant, but he is now the last one standing. What a shot from OC, and Nitro saves the day again with the last. NRG and 11th, and Limitless, despite a good play from Wiz and Breeze overstaying his welcome in a Molotov, it's still the 2 heroes, Nitro and OC, taking care of business.
Yeah, it was that cubby setup that really sold everything for NRG. You have that bait and switch setup, essentially. You play the same position, you try to fight for yourself, fight for that position, and feign that's the only player there. And then the late swing out to get a quick double is everything. Sure, he burns himself to death, but you get that necessary man advantage. It pulls attention away from a player bounding through a smoke and automatic, and things look very good for both Nitro and OC in that retake. It's pretty simple at that point. But Limitless, they do get a bomb plant. They're on max loss bonus. They can get the rifles out, but this is pretty much it, John. It's do or die at this point, and I think they're just going to go for this Hail Mary BXC.
Yeah, feels like it, honestly, with the 4 players already lined up. They've got the util ready. They're going to throw the flashes and the smokes in and just go for it. You have to imagine they're letting DJF gain some space towards A to see what happens there. But with that smoke being thrown, I think they just deviate him back towards that B site and try to make something happen. They are waiting out the util. Wolf has been standing here still as a statue, ready to throw his smoke. Seb the same. NRG on the other side thinking, what on earth are they up to? Here come the smokes and the flashes. Limitless are moving in. Wiz gets the opener onto Hex, so it's something. Breeze is completely smoked off. OC finds the response, but Breeze could get isolated very quickly. Oh my goodness, Wiz stepping to the Molotov and still gets the frag onto Breeze. 2K for him, bomb planted. 4v3, but it is a very precarious one with Wiz down to 12 HP. And here come NRG. The only thing, there's the snake in the grass. DJF, if he can get it on a flank in time, he could certainly take care of this round almost by himself. But as I mentioned, keyword in time. Keywords, I should say. Coming through, nice shot, immediate trade. Nitro gets Wiz. DJF on that flank does strike, but only for one. Nitro trying to be the hero again. Not enough time to get the defusal though, and he will be forced to fall back. That'll do it for the round. Limitless are going to take it, but Nitro again made it close, along with OC. I mean, they're both 23 frags for OC and 20 for Nitro.
Yeah, I mean, the trading looked so good there for NRG, but unfortunately DJF is just that last linchpin to kind of confirm the round. But yeah, great idea again from NRG. Even in the man disadvantage, they still looked crisp enough to get it over the line. They've got plenty of money, so they still will reinvest. But yeah, I mean, it's a very weak win for Limitless, right? You only keep one rifle alive. You basically got the same buy heading into this round as well. So it is again your last chance in a lot of ways. If you fall here, it could be map over.
Automatic getting sprayed through the smoke by Tender. A little bit of a lucky lineup there on the Limitless side, but I mean, they'll take it. They don't know it yet, but I'm sure once they engage with automatic, they'll be like, oh, it went down pretty quickly. I guess he was a player that I tagged earlier on. Anyway, enough about that. Nitro gets the opener. On to Wolf, 5v4 in favor of NRG. Like you said, I mean, this is, again, the last chance for Limitless because of the way the previous round played out. I do want to highlight Wiz, though. It's a great play through the Molotov to get one. But Breeze, speaking of through things, through the smoke, gets two. Hex manages to get a follow-up onto Seb, and now it's all on Wiz to try and clutch out the round. He's got the space. He's got the time. He will get the plant out, but is it going to be frags for him? No is the answer. Nitro finds the last onto him, and it's going to be a 12th round for NRG. Breeze, who's been, I mean, not necessarily very quiet, but quiet compared to Nitro and OC, gets two important ones. Just the lineup through the smoke.
Yeah, side anchor does his job there. I mean, that's really everything you could ask for if you're Breeze. And then, I mean, at this point, Limitless, we spoke about the issues that would come with that last round, and Wolf on the Mac 10. You've got a couple of Galils to deal with it, and very, very little utility to back up it as well. Maybe something a little aggressive to get those SMGs involved, something with a little bit more pace on it, but they're not going to opt in for it. They really haven't, as far as this game is concerned, when they've switched over to the offense. And with that, NRG are in pole position to close out their ECL debut with this new roster.
Flash gonna get thrown by Nitro. Smoke gets one, realizes a boost, and he finds the follow-up as well. Well done for the IGL. He's up to 24 at the top of the scoreboard. We had questions about his skill going into this one in CS2, but he has answered them very handily. Automatic gets two, Hex gets the last. This is a no contest round, 13-5 in favor of NRG. That was relatively dominant.
Well, look, man, I had so many question marks about this team, and you know, they proved me wrong at this very small first hurdle. As far as the individual concerns go for Nitro, you can see that he's got